Yes, sir.
Yes. With regard to insurance, you folks will provide a certificate of insurance, $2 million, naming the city as an additional insured.
Yes, we will. As Mayor Rice had noted, we have put on the TET Festival in the city of Westminster, and we always have all those paperwork in line and the insurance in line.
To be candid, it's because your group is so familiar with these procedures, I was surprised that you were late. But I understand that the county may have placed you in a difficult situation. Yeah. Did no one ask the county at the time that the permit was requested of them when the site is available? Because it is a court parking lot. Surely you couldn't have been under the impression that they were going to close down a court parking lot for an entire business day.
Well, we weren't aware of that. We are human. When we put in the request, we were in communication with the county office about the setup, and it didn't come up until the very end. I think also to the county that the parking lot would be in use and that we would need extra time to set up, because our actual event time is between 6 and 11. And I think it came up during the processing of the application that we would need the extra time, and we did put that out in our application that we would want to have Thursday or the entire day of Friday to set up.
Okay, Councilman Kwok.
In your request, you asked for a concert to be authorized from what time to what time? From 6 to 10?
From 6 to 10 o'clock, yes.
Well, council policy is we have a 9 o'clock cutoff time.
Yes, we understand that. I think, but when we put in the request from 6 to 10, is that the concert would be about 3 hours, and that extra hour would be just getting people out of there, basically.
So you will be shutting off the concert at 9 o'clock?
Yes, right around 9.
The music.
The program that we have in place is about 3 hours.
By right around 9, you mean at or before 9 o'clock?
At
right?
or before 9.
At the request of user, we will end at 9.
You'll stop the music at 9.
Yes. We'll do whatever you ask us of us if you let us use the site.
Well, I really feel that we are honored that you would want to have an international conference of this kind, and I'm sorry that you didn't know in time to ask. I would consider it if the council would so desire.
Well, they do have mitigating circumstances, and I think it's a lot of rules. To many rules, there's always an exception, I guess. So.
But we would, to take action on this tonight, it would have to be brought on as an emergency item, and how would the vote, wait a minute, how would the vote go on that?
Super majority.
Okay. So
Let the city attorney answer me, please.
Oh, yes.
Requires a 4/5 vote, and you have to make two findings: a finding that arose since the posting of the agenda, and that it can't wait till the next regular meeting.
So moved.
I would like the findings to be more specific, and I will state them here.
Okay.
I believe...
You can sit down, dear.
Okay,
you can sit down. Thank you. First, with regard to whether or not this arose since the last meeting, it arose both subsequent to the 60-day cutoff and subsequent to the posting of the agenda to the meeting. The fact is that if the county did not provide them with this notice until May the 28th, and that is the only testimony we have before us, the only evidence is that May the 28th was the first notice that they received from the county that they would not be able to set up that during the full day of Friday. Based on that, there is an emergency situation. It is unique and distinct from the usual circumstances where someone knows or should know more than 60 days in advance. And due to that change of circumstances, we should be willing to consider a permit application on an urgency basis. Whether or not it would be more appropriate to approve it for exactly the memorial site, for the site immediately north of it, which is the open ground that's slated for the community center, or whether it should be set at the Sunken Garden or another nearby location is something that can be discussed in the subsequent motion. But with regard to the motion on urgency, I think they have met the urgency requirements.
Yes.
And that this does not constitute in any way, manner, or form a treatment of this group different than others would have received in an urgency situation.
Absolutely, Kermit, that's what I said.
That's a good way. You said it in your language, and he said it in his language. Now, did we have a second
the
on that motion?
He's made the motion.
Who made the second?
I made the
Russ and Andy.
All right, let's vote on the emergency motion, right?
Urgency.
Urgency.
Urgency. Vote, please.
Motion carried 5-0.
Just a clarification, all you've done is agendize it now.
Yeah,
That's right. We've agendized.
Now you got to convince
But
us.
I have to, I want to speak to this before the council does. Usually I sit here and wait. But I do want to emphasize, this young group of students have done so much for this city and for this community. They have brought money in, donated it to different organizations in the city, and they have proven that they're trustworthy. And therefore, I personally would make the motion that we allow this.
Second.
Let's-
Well, public hearing.
No, there's no public comment, but let me begin. We need clarification as to the motion. When are they going to set up? What are their hours of operation?
It will have to go the regular permit type of status.
Let's put it on the record.
But for the record,
That ground is permit said to the north.
well, for the
Oh,
record,
the memorial.
when are they going to begin occupying it for setting it up?
If I could make a few proposals, I think it's along the lines of what Frank's thinking. I think we should offer to allow them to use the site currently slated for the development of our Community Cultural Arts Center, immediately north of the park site. It will also move them a little bit more distant from the senior apartments, which is an advantage
That's
for
true.
purposes of their...
And you'll have more room.
And also the fact is they want to use amplified sound, it seems like.
Right, you
They're
could
going to
just walk
have,
over.
as they said, sound stage and a concert. I think we need to make it clear that they need to be, that all music and amplified sound needs to end on or before 9:00 p.m.
And meet all regulations of the police.
All regulations, all requirements, all of our standard permit requirements, including insurance.
Would it commence at 6 p.m. then?
It can commence at 6 p.m. I do not have a problem, since there's currently nothing
On
in
that
use
land.
on the site that we're offering,
They set
which is
it up.
not the Freedom Park site itself.
So they can
but
set
the
up
site
that
north.
day in the morning or whenever.
I'm willing to let them start setting up the night
The day before, if they
because
need-
again, that's an open space.
True.
However, they need to be mindful of the fact that there are residences near there. So if you're doing things between 10 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning, if you disturb the peace, make
be
noise,
after
irritate
you.
people,
Police will be there.
you'll lose the permit. So your behavior must be exemplary.
You got to turn the volume down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they'll be told to what
Will there be a
extent.
requirement that they, in this kind of situations, once we know the size of the crowd, typically the police determine some sort of cost. Public Works typically analyzes cleanup. We have them post a bond of some
True.
sort to cover those anticipated costs.
These are all standard requirements and they're all included. It is to be left within the discretion of the staff. We are assigning it over to them such that the assistant city manager,
The
who is the acting
special,
city manager, can handle it.
special event person will work with you. You know what's expected. I trust you. You've done a good job in the past. Just follow all the rules, all the regs.
Make sure you do.
That's all I ask.
So I second the mayor's motion.
All together, shake your heads.
We need to emphasize that if you come back next year,
You better
and
be
you don't
on
meet 60
time.
days, okay? This is the type of argument you get to make once. Well, we didn't know, the county was going to impose this
Yeah.
deadline. That's the sort of thing that you get to make once. You don't get to make it again. If you come back to us again, you don't meet 60 days, I don't care what the excuses are.
And this is for Friday, July 11th, correct?
Friday, July
Friday,
the
July
11th.
11th. So, we'd be happy to be there.
And it's
I
for-
am honored that you're having people from all over the world.
And
that
I
have-
know you'll all like to come to the mayor's ball next
Oh,
Saturday.
I have that under my comments, so don't leave until I get to make my comments because I expect help from you.